You spent more than a decade in Asia getting credit into the hands of millions of people who never had a bank account. How on earth did you end up in the cardiovascular space?
Yeah, that's a good question. Thanks for it. Yeah, I lived 13 years in Asia, and I was working in the fintech area. But my friends back in Czech Republic, they came with this brilliant idea of starting Kardi AI. So I was one of the first investor from the family friends in the first round. And after 13 years, actually, in one day, I decided to go back to Europe, and it was a natural decision that I will join Cardi AI and help my friends and colleagues who came with this brilliant idea to create a solution which will be spread across all the markets, and we create a global solution from it.
And the market that you're in is previously it was a lucrative market. It's a market with tons of success. So there must have been something that your friends told you about what they wanted to build that made you really interested, not only to invest but also to commit all your time to it as well. What do you think it was that you originally heard from them that was like the aha moment? Like, I want this. I really want this.
um, we were discussing like how the idea came out actually, and it was the need, because one of the co-founder is the professor of cardiology, one of the other co-founder is a serial entrepreneur, but as well the patient, cardiovascular patient, and they were discussing like how to make it the cardiovascular prevention easier for the people, with bigger detection, bigger impact, and easier not only for the patients but as well for the doctors. And one of the things was that this product can save lives. So it's a combination of course, creating a business, but as well some social impact. So I found it like very interesting, and when I came back from Southeast Asia, it was like the first decision. So, yeah.
Okay, and the traditional methods for this space is the halter, right? And it's been around for a long time. So, what do you see in the halter that still works well, but also where do they fall short enough where you think you needed to create a device to compete in this space?
Yeah, so Holter is the like short-term monitoring. So first of all, it's important to understand that the heart arrhythmias, they are coming unpredictably, and as well that if you don't catch them in the right time, it can lead to the stroke, heart failure, and early onset of dementia. So, for example, 25% of all strokes are caused by one cardiac arrhythmia called atrial fibrillation. So Holter short-term monitoring for one day for 24 hours. So imagine what is the chance of detecting of arrhythmia which is coming unpredictably, and you have the Holter for 24 hours only for the 1 year period. Yeah, in Czech Republic, it's 1.3 Holters per person per year. So it's very small chance. Even from the clinical studies, it came out that it's only 3 to 5% chance of detecting the arrhythmia through the Holter monitoring, which is the golden standard in the hospitals. So we came with a solution which you can wear anytime, anywhere, as long as you want. It's waterproof. You can have it overnight. It doesn't impact your daily activities. I'm measuring myself even now. So it's a long-term monitoring. That's the biggest difference, and the detection rate is 10 times higher compared or like found what we found currently on our first 5,000 registered users.
And so for someone who's never thought about their heart rhythm, what does it actually feel like to have an arrhythmia? How would people know about it without a device like this?
Yeah, so I'm one of the, I think 50% of the population who is asymptomatic, so I don't feel any symptoms when I had arrhythmia. But yeah, there are 50% of the patients or population is symptomatic, so they feel something is going on. They feel the the heart is bumping faster, and as well, to be honest, I don't know how to translate it into English now, the symptoms of it, But yeah, 50% of the people are symptomatic. They feel something is going on. Most probably they don't know what's this, so they go to the doctor. By till the time they will go to the doctor, it's already gone, and the doctor needs to detect it or try to find the arrhythmia again with the Holter, which is quite tough job, I would say. So that's why we came with the solution that you have it at home. It's yours. Whenever you feel the symptoms, you can put the belt on, start measuring. The measurement is evaluated by the AI and sent within 5 minutes after the measurement sent to you as a user with the evaluation and doctor's report. But we also send the report to the doctor and to the hospital.
Interesting. And so with any device like this, there's usually a specific patient story or a clinical moment that made the team think we need a better way to monitor these people over time. How did that come about? Who was it within the business that decided this was something they really wanted to double down on?
So we came through like we were founded in 2022. We have a certified solution on the market since October 2025. So it took us like 3 years to certify the solution, as well to develop the solution. Um, Part of the development team, or like part of the team who was designing it, was were the cardiologist itself. So they were actually giving us the feedback how the solution should look like for a long-term monitoring, which will have a better detection power. And as well, we have couple of or like hundreds of users where we use this solution for data capturing, and they were giving us feedback how the application and how the environment for the patient should look like, what kind of feedback they want to get, and how fast they want to get it. So the first 4 years were more about the development of the solution, getting the feedback from the cardiologist, from the patients, from the real users, and as well certified as a medical device that we know it's safe and it's fulfill all the regulations within the EU.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And you alluded to this a second ago about the Cardi AI device. So it's a chest strap, I believe. And well, it's a chest strap and application. Actually, sorry, I'll correct myself. What was the idea behind that, rather than like a typical watch or the old traditional patches?
Yeah, so on the beginning, we were in front of one question if we will go as a wellness device or if we will go as a medical device. So all the rings, watches, necklaces, they mostly measure heart rate. It's not the ECG, it's not the electrodiagram. And for example, Apple Watch can do ECG only when on the watches you touch the watches by your second hand and you close the electric round. Actually, it's only for 30 seconds, and I think it's certified only for one arrhythmia. So we tested like 50 devices, different devices, and the belt came out as a best solution to get the real ECG, to get a very clean and very good quality signal of the ECG, which we then can create the AI models which can then evaluate the whole signal. So we decided to go as a medical device through all the medical certifications. For that, you definitely need the quality hardware for getting the data and recording the data. Then we also created and developed like two AI models from scratch with the team of cardiologists, which were annotating each and every heartbeat. So we created one AI model which is evaluating the measurement and telling you, okay, we found this type of arrhythmia and how critical it is. And the second AI model, which is detecting the noise and artifacts and removing it from the measurement, that the doctors are not misled by these artifacts. So the doctor in the hospital will get into his system very clean, very high quality signal, which is already evaluated, and the doctor have then to take the next steps.
Okay, and so what is actually happening from the moment a patient puts this device on their chest?
Yeah, so when you put the belt on your body, you need to go to the mobile app, start the measurement, and it actually measures your live ECG. Then when you stop the measurement, actually within 5 minutes you will get a report where there is a semaphore, green, yellow, or orange light. Green means that we didn't found any arrhythmia. Yellow means we found arrhythmia, but it's mild, and we're describing what kind of arrhythmia we found. And the orange means not wait for a visit next visit of your cardiologist, but you should go to the cardiologist as soon as possible and show him the report, what we actually found. If you buy Kardi AI in the hospital, we are currently in 60 hospitals in Central Europe, then you don't need to share with the doctor any report. It's automatically with him.
That's interesting. And with that AI component, so probably the buzzword of the century at the moment, AI. There's so many different value points that I could see this giving, though, and it's not just on the detection side. I'm also thinking triage, workflow, speed of patient engagement. What are the biggest value adds of the AI for you guys?
For us, is the model for the evaluation of the measurement,
Yeah.
because you see in the application just the raw data, so the model is actually going through it and finding the irregularities and actually evaluating it, seven type of arrhythmias. The point is as well that the standard method of doing the things in the hospital is that when you come to the doctor, you will get the Holter for 24 hours, you will take it home, measure yourself 24 hours, then you need to return it, and then you wait for the result. So in my case, 1.5 year ago, it took 5 weeks,
Wow.
this circle. Currently, for example, in Czech Republic, just the waiting time for Holter is 3 to 6 months. Yeah. With the AI evaluation, you have it within 5 minutes after the measurement. The doctor have the clean report within 5 minutes after the measurement. So we are significantly decreasing the time between the findings and the next steps done by the doctor between the treatment. So that's why it's important to have these improvements, to have the treatment faster, and the delivery of the reports and data to the doctor much faster than it's currently done.
So that's ticking off a lot of the boxes which I mentioned just before then. So thank you for sharing that. One of the biggest things for cardiologists is I know that they are typically very cautious with anything, in particular with AI. So I can imagine there's been a lot of times where you have had to prove yourself before clinicians. How has that looked, and what kind of things have you had to show them before they started trusting the output?
Yeah, so the one thing is that the AI is not replacing the doctors.
Yep.
The AI is like a third eye of the doctor. We are able to find, as I mentioned, with this solution, 10 times higher number of detections than whatever is currently available on the market and as a golden standard in the hospitals. So we are helping them to detect more cases that they can take care of and prevent the stroke and heart failure and the early onset of dementia. Of course, we need to prove clinical studies which we have done. So we in the last clinical study we done last year with the university hospitals in Czech Republic, we have 98% specificity. We are interested in this number means that when we say it's arrhythmia, it's most probably 100% true. We have very less false positive cases. It's around 0.001%. So that's also important that we don't add the work to the doctors and we don't scare the patients with false positive cases. And this is also about the efficiency of the doctors in the doctor's office or physicians, because most of the time the people waiting in the doctor's office waiting room, it's about the feelings of doctor. I had a feeling, like tell me what to do next. We actually exchanging these people to the people with already detected arrhythmias. So we're skipping the time of waiting and searching for it, but and wasting the time of the doctors to find it with the with the methods with the lower detection, and giving them the tool where the doctor's office can be full of the people who already have detected something, and the doctor can take a treatment and the next steps. So it's also increasing on the efficiency of the work of the doctors, and for sure for the patients. it's like a prevention tool. So if you catch it in early stage, it's much easier to fix it than when you find out that you had arrhythmias, but the stroke already happened. So that's that's the main point. Prevent these accidents.
Mm. And before we move on to that sort of real world usage, I actually want to just come back and peel back the onion a layer. So you're classified as a class 2A device, is that correct?
Yeah.
So how important was regulation in building trust with doctors, patients, and the healthcare systems?
That's the key actually. We were not able to sell this product in the hospitals without the MDR 2A certification. So
Yep.
it was not even possible. So we were all in the like pilot or study stage where we were testing it. We have a couple of or team of doctors who was working with us on the creation of the model and annotating the heartbeats. We had a couple of patients which were measuring and collecting the data without any evaluation. And the full product is on the market like last 8 months. Um, and without this certification, it's just not possible to serve in or being promoted in the hospitals or by the doctors. So it's crucial part of it.
I want to take a minute to say thank you to our sponsors, TTP. TTP is a leader in complex medical device development. With deep scientific and engineering expertise, they help medtech teams crack tough development challenges and make the right calls early, reducing rework, delays, and uncertainty later on. Whether you're navigating uncharted technical territory or racing towards market, TTP brings clarity and real-world judgment to the decisions that shape performance, usability, and manufacturability. By retiring risk early and grounding innovation in real-world constraints, they help you move forward with speed and confidence. To find out more, check out the show notes.
And what did the clinical studies look like in the background to get you to that point?
Yeah, so you need to prove that the sensitivity, the specificity, the quality of the signal, the feedback from the patients. So we were doing in two university hospitals in Czech Republic under the guidance of the notified body, which is under the regulation of the national regulator. And we done more than I think 1,200 measurements where the doctors then were evaluating if the model actually evaluated it in a correct way. What was the quality of the ECG, what was the sensitivity, what was the specificity, and what was the feedback of the patients by actually wearing this device, because that's one of the advantage we have, that the chest belt, it's a fitness belt, so you get quite used to wear it instead of wearing the halters, all the wires on your body, which are quite uncomfortable and limiting your daily activities. So that was also one of the things we were checking, if the patients are willing to wear it. Now, from the data of 5,000 registered users, we know that they wearing the device or the chest belt like 4 times a week for 2-3 hours. And even when you are wearing it 4 times a week, 2-3 hours, that's that we are able to find 10 times higher number of cases than when you have a halter for 24 hours.
It's very interesting, and let's talk about that a little bit more now. So I want to actually come back to the point we were previously talking about. So, what have you learned now from real world use of this device that you wouldn't have discovered in a lab or in a controlled environment?
So we are still improving it with the new features. So we are adding the accelerometer, which means that we will also detect if you are moving or not moving. So it will part of the report for the doctors, not only the ECG, not only the detection of arrhythmias, but as well the stage or the fitness active or the activity you are doing during it. That's one thing. Second thing. What we are working on now, or already starting working on, is the predictive models. That we have already like 5,000 registered users with the long-term monitoring data, which is super useful for the predictive models, that in future you can wear the belt, for example, 1 month, and we, based on some patterns, we can tell you if something will happen, if some arrhythmia will come or not. So that's also interesting. and feedback what the people want. Then we are adding new features that the reports from your mobile phone, if you as a user allow it, you can share it with any doctor and the full history, not only like the individual reports from measurement, but the full history with the trends of your heart rate, of your performance of the heart, of the arrhythmias development. So these are all interesting things which we found out, and improving the product in like it's ongoing. It's never stopped. So the product is never done. But yeah, these are the things.
And I think that is the future of the standard of care in this market as well. I was speaking with Jim Hartman from Clearly, and their biggest thing is, they want a world without heart attacks, and it comes from intervening earlier, right? If you can predict these things before they happen, that is the end goal really for any company in this space. Okay, so you've got the device to market now. You've clearly found lots of use for it, not only in, patient workflow, it's also in how people are treated. It's also how you're going to improve time. You're going to help with triage. How are you now going to get it to market? Because I believe you're going a different route in commercialization than most companies typically would.
Yeah, so generally we have the MDR certification for the whole Europe. So we putting in the market in two phases. One phase is that we're going through the hospitals and the doctors, and that's the primary channel for us, because we want to get the credibility from the hospitals as from the doctors that they are using it, they are offering it to the patients, and the patients are using it. So this is already confirmed on our home market in Czech Republic. Now we entered Poland, Slovakia, Romania, Bulgaria, and we choose these markets because on these markets, for example, Romania, Bulgaria, they have 55 to 60% of all deaths is caused by the cardiovascular issues or diseases. So it's super high number. For example, in Czech Republic, it's around 35%. It's everywhere in the world. It's number one reason of deaths, but these markets which we choose as the first one have the highest rate of the deaths due to the cardiovascular disease. So I think we can help there hugely. That's why we choose them. Now we continue to the rest of the Europe. We started with Germany. A couple of weeks back, we have super positive feedbacks from the hospitals there, where we are piloting the device, and in the same time, we actually looking outside of the EU. So we are in approval process for the certification in India, United Arab Emirates, and Singapore. We choose these three regions wisely because India, of course, it's a huge market for scaling up, but as well it's a market where, due to the pollution and lifestyle, the cardiovascular diseases are a huge issue and big topic. And as well, the distance, hospitals and your home can be like 15 kilometers, but it can take like 4 hours drive due to the traffic. So I think remote monitoring and long-term monitoring is one thing which can really fit to that market. It's already confirmed. We spent a couple of weeks in India, visited all the major hospital chains, and discussed with the key opinion leaders what is their view. So we got positive feedback. Singapore is entry gate to the Southeast Asia, and I spent in this region like 13 years, so I'm a little bit familiar with the markets, and I think this can be a very good addition to their healthcare system. It's a unique product. Currently, we don't have competitors for the long-term monitoring. So long term, I mean 3, 6, 12 months. So that's why we choose these big markets to actually scale up.
Interesting. So you mentioned the long term. There's no direct competition, and who do you compete with in the short term?
So short term, you have 1 day Holter. You can get Holter for 1 week. That's the standards. Then you have a lot of patches which you can put on your body for 1, 2 weeks. But again, you need to return it somewhere, or to the insurance company or to the hospital. You need to wait for the evaluation, and you cannot use it whenever you want. So We have, or like this Kardi AI package, the customers will get home. It's their own, and they can use it anytime and anywhere. And good point is that what we didn't know before, the stickiness to that product. um, we actually have, or the impression is always that okay, on the beginning the people are using it every day, and then it slowly go down when, for example, they are green and we didn't detect them anything, so they put it on side and say, oh, I'm okay, so I don't need it anymore. So we see that the stickiness with the product is huge, because first week they're using it 7 times a week, but the second week and third week and the next weeks they are using it 4 times a week, and it didn't drop. It just go 4 times a week, and we have already users even from the previous testing stage who are with us 170 weeks, and we see the stable usage of 4 times a week, so almost like every second day of the week for 2-3 hours, different situations the people are using and measuring themselves. We don't see any difference if you have a detection that you are start using it more, or you don't have a detection that you start using it less. You still use it 4 times a week, even you are green. So this is like super good result for us, and super promising that the people are taking care about their health. And that was one of the goals, that to start people taking care about their health and prevent the unnecessary accidents, which can be detected in early stage and fixed before it actually happens. So that's important.
Fantastic. And firstly, kudos to you for opening up in Europe. Not many companies these days will go and get EU MDR certification first. They'll try to get to the US, raise some big funds, and earn some money over there. So fair play for starting in Europe and advancing into these other international markets. What does the commercial model look like for selling this technology?
Yeah, so the commercial model differs on each market based on the regulation. So always needs to be fully complied with the local regulations as a regulated medical device. So general model is we selling the services to the hospitals. Then the hospitals are reselling the long-term monitoring services to their patients. That's the 70% of our revenue currently. The second model is that is B2C, that we're selling it directly to the users, so you can buy it on our eShop. That's 30% of the revenue actually, and you have all your data within your mobile phone, and you can decide to which doctor you will share it. That's mainly as a prevention tool. And the third model, which we currently just opened recently, is the employee benefits, where big companies are actually offering this as a benefit to their employees for a heart screening. We have a couple of big names already under us and a couple of interesting results, where in one of the biggest bank we have double digit detection number after 2 weeks screening. So that's pretty impressive. For us, it's pretty impressive numbers. For them, it's good information that there can be some issue and they have to fix it. The users have to fix it in early stage, or can fix it in early stage. So these are the distribution models we currently have.
It's interesting that you've mentioned that. I remember when I got my first healthcare plan through work with Vitality, and it was like the one at the time was the Apple Watch, and everyone was like, "Yeah, you get a free Apple Watch with it to monitor your health." So it's interesting now to see that actual medical graded technology is now slipping into those platforms to be able to do that. So that's very cool to hear. Okay, so one thing I do want to touch on is you're expanding not only in team size but also into international markets. That does require capital. How has fundraising been so far for the company?
Yeah, so we ran through 3 rounds till now, pre-seed, seed, and extended seed. So we got 3.5 million euro in these 3 rounds. And currently we have opened the Series A. We have first initial traction last 7-8 months. We have first international contracts signed with the hospitals outside of Czech Republic, and we have good traction on our home market. So the distribution models are working. So we have Series A now open. It's a 5 million round. Currently, it's on a positive development there, and hopefully we will close the round in the next coming weeks.
And how has it been raising that Series A? So I'm hearing mixed reviews from the market. It sounds as if, well, we know that the global economic situation doesn't help with every bit of finance, really. It seems now that more than ever, VCs want to see more data. They want to see earlier impact. They want to see more commercial traction. Is that true? Is that how it feels right now?
It is, but it is, and you're right. And I think fundraising is never an easy job. It's
Yeah.
always tough. But yeah, due to the like geopolitical and economical situation, it's getting tougher and tougher. In healthcare, yeah, I will most probably not compete with some solution which is not regulated and will bring the MRR or ARR in a super heights in the hockey stick, because first like 4 years with us was just the regulation and getting the things done and approved. Now we see finally the traction, and finally with the opening of the new markets, they will be coming most probably even the hockey stick. So healthcare investors needs to be a little bit more patient, and that the results will come. But we are in the stage where we can actually confirm the traction, confirm that we can do the expansion, getting approved on the huge markets with a huge potential. So I would say that it's a good setup for us, and I'm positive in this way. Even I know it's one of the toughest job for a co-founder to do the fundraising, and it's always 80-90% of your time is allocated only to the fundraising. But then you need to clone yourself and have somebody who will manage the standard operations. So this is what is currently happening. That the day is longer than usual for me, and for the team as well. But it is what it is. It's the way we choose in a startup.
And what's your plans then over the next few years? What's your biggest milestones that you're working towards, and even what do you need to happen to make this successful for you?
So far we saved more than 350 lives in Czech
Wow.
Republic with this solution, and the good thing is that we are able to count the numbers because we know the cases. So for us, the goal is actually to spread the technology, make it as a global solution. So the milestones are opening India, opening Southeast Asia, finalizing the rollout in Europe, and of course, in a later stage, look at the US market as well. Make from Kardi AI as a global solution, which can help and prevent the stroke and heart failures in other countries, other regions, and make it as a global solution. So and save more lives. Actually, that's the goal we have, and that's where we are heading, step by step.
Perfect. And tell me about what's next for you then. So you're expanding into international markets. How is the company going to change? Is there going to be structure changes? Are you hiring?
Yeah, definitely. We are currently like 15 people, and we started already with hiring for the international expansion. So the team is growing. In next couple of months, I think the team will be 3-4 times bigger. Yeah, that needs to be a change in the structure of it. I hope, and my wish is to keep the flexibility and speed in place, but of course make the team stronger and the company stronger in terms of like how the processes works, but still to keep our flexibility of the startup. And I think that's the main challenge always, to keep the flexibility and speed, but grow hugely on the market. So that will be challenge. I have a good experience that I done it already twice
Yep.
when we were rolling out the companies in Southeast Asia, and especially also in India. So I have the experience like how to do it and how to manage it. We keep the flexibility and speed, and the team will be robust and manage the growth. So yeah.
I love that, and I love that you're already thinking about that. Jim Hartman, going back to him as well, he calls it like he describes the culture that when you grow, it's so hard to maintain that culture and keep it as you scale. And the way he described it is one that I'd not heard before, and I like it. It was like dropping a rock in a pond, and it's the ripple that comes afterwards. How can you control the ripple? And when you're a company of your size, in particular, every hire is a drop in the pond, and it's how much of a ripple it can cause. So I love that you're already thinking about how you're going to maintain that culture and maintain your standards as you grow as well. What is the most important part of the culture that you currently have?
So it's a culture of openness, to be honest, that we talking about the decisions together, how to move forward. We're talking about the key things. We providing feedback, open feedback. If something is not working, everybody needs to take his responsibility. Everybody is responsible for some area, and needs to say if it's going in the right way or if he needs the help. So I think I want to keep this openness in the discussions, because I think it's moving the team forward. And for me also the important part is the ownership, taking the responsibility, and pushing the things forward. So that's what I'm looking at when we building a team. Yeah, that's mainly it. Of course, there are sometimes like heated discussions, but I believe that's part of the journey, and it needs to be there. But I strictly separated it that yes, we can have a heated discussions, but then afterwards we going for a beer.
Exactly that. It should be called passion, right? That's what it is. You're passionate about the projects, and passion can lead to heated discussions. So no, I like that a lot. Okay, cool. So you shared a lot of detail about what you guys are building, and it's some incredible technology and some pretty dated technology that is the current standard of care. So it's nice to see people leveraging that and really trying to advance this area. What I always like to do is leave guests with some value as well from the sessions today. And I think there's a couple of areas where I would like to just quickly talk to you about. The first one is, you said that you've done this before. Building in these international markets, in particular APAC, is tough. Like, there's a reason why we've done very little of it. Maybe 5-10% of my work has been in Asia Pacific. I know how hard it is. What would your advice be to companies or innovators that are looking to expand into those markets?
So it's a very relationship driven market. So you should be definitely present there, create the relationship with the local providers and local partners. My advantage is that I spent there 13 years, so I keep the relationships there, and whenever there is a need for help, I know where to go. As well, the localization. Of course, we will need to adjust product to the local standards. Example is then in Europe we have uh, like one-time payment for the year. Like in India, there will be definitely the monthly plan for the people, and it will be localized to the needs of the people and like what they are used to. So yeah, a localization, a connection, being present on the market, go there, walk through the process, talk to the partners in like on that market and understand, and as well understand what are the needs, what is the gap on the market. I think these are the most important things. So we went there, we discussed it with the hospitals, we discussed it with the doctors. We found out that there is no competition, that there is a gap in this monitoring. We see that the needs is there for it, and that's why we are decided to go to it.
And my next question is, for you guys, you've got AI with purpose, right? But I feel like some companies don't truly understand how they can leverage it or how they can use it to better fundraise and even improve their technology. If there's companies out there that are thinking about stepping into this AI medtech space, what would your advice be to early plan for it and how to correctly implement it in your strategy?
Look, it doesn't matter if it's AI company or any other idea. It needs to solve a real problem. So it needs to come from the reality, from the real life. So we are solving the problem which our co-founders have. And then when we look at the numbers, we saw that not only these guys are solving it, but have this issue, but it's a general issue on all the markets. That there is a huge need of for such a device. There is a huge issue in the cardiovascular diseases and detection. So that's the point. You need to solve something which is important, that somebody will look at it and buy your product, talk about your product, and that your product can help to solve and fix some issue which is real. That's the most important thing. So you need to have an audience for this. Yeah.
There's some very strong closing statements, Vlastimil, and I want to thank you for your time today. It's come to the end of the show, and I think you guys have got some seriously cool stuff going on. There's been lots of traction this year. I've seen you guys have not only been nominated for lots of awards, but you've also won a lot of them as well. So really looking forward to seeing what you guys build. Hopefully next time we speak, there's 30, 40 more faces in the office as well. So yeah, thank you for your time, Vlastimil.
Thank you, Sharon. It was a pleasure to talking to you. So thank you for the invitation. Thanks.
My pleasure. Take care, Vlasto. Thanks for listening to The Crux of Cardio. If there's one thing this space has taught me, both personally and professionally, it's that progress in cardiovascular care is never the result of one individual. It's built by ecosystems, by teams, by people willing to take the long bets on hard problems. At Crux, our mission is to support that ecosystem through talent, capital and community. The podcast is one small part of that effort, a place to share the real stories from people shaping the future of cardiovascular care. If you found value in today's conversation, I would love for you to follow the show and share it with someone building in this space. And if you're a founder, operator or investor working on something meaningful in the cardiovascular care space, we'd love to hear from you.